Imagine two circles, roll them across the ground separately, and the result is exactly what you'd expect. The larger circle travels farther, while the smaller one covers a shorter distance. But now place the smaller circle inside the larger one, like the axle inside a wheel. Roll the entire wheel forward exactly one revolution. The outer circle turns once. The inner circle also turns once. Yet somehow they both appear to have traveled exactly the same distance. How is that possible? The smaller circle has a much shorter circumference. So how can it possibly keep up with the larger one? This is known as Aristotle's wheel paradox, one of the oldest and most fascinating puzzles in mathematics. Around the 4th century BC, a collection of ancient Greek writings known as mechanical problems presented 35 mechanical puzzles. Problem 24 described this very paradox. Roll the two circles separately, and the larger one naturally travels farther. Lock them together into a single wheel, and suddenly they seem to cover the same distance. At first glance, it almost looks as though the larger and smaller circles have the same circumference. But that's impossible. The paradox isn't hiding in the circles themselves, it's hiding in the meaning of one simple word: rolling. When a wheel rolls across the ground, one rule must always hold true. The point touching the ground cannot slip. As the wheel rotates, every tiny section of its edge touches the ground one after another. But the smaller circle inside the wheel never touches the ground at all. Only the outer rim is actually rolling. The inner circle simply rotates because it's attached to the larger one. It completes one revolution, but it isn't rolling across the ground under the same conditions. Centuries later, in the 16th century, the Italian mathematician Girolamo Cardano realized that one complete revolution actually combines two different motions. One is rotation, spinning around the center. The other is translation, moving through space. These happen simultaneously, yet they're often mistaken for the same thing. A few decades later, Marin Mersenne asked an even deeper question. Does the inner circle really move continuously, or is some of its motion hidden from view? With a perfectly smooth circle, it was almost impossible to tell. Then came Galileo Galilei, who approached the puzzle in a completely different way. Instead of studying circles, he replaced them with hexagons. Imagine a large hexagon with a smaller hexagon fixed inside it. As the outer hexagon rolls, it doesn't move smoothly. It tips from one flat side to the next. Now watch the smaller hexagon. Its sides are shorter, so every time the outer wheel tips forward, the inner one can't cover the same distance with its own edge. A tiny gap appears between each step. That missing distance is simply carried forward by the larger wheel instead of being rolled by the smaller one. Suddenly, the paradox begins to disappear. Now replace the hexagon with a 12-sided polygon. The gaps become smaller. Replace it with 24 sides, then 48. As the number of sides keeps increasing, the shape begins to look more and more like a perfect circle. The gaps become too small to see, but they never truly disappear. They're simply hidden inside what appears to be smooth, continuous motion. Galileo had transformed a mechanical puzzle into a mathematical one. Galileo also noticed something even more remarkable. Place a small dot on the rim of a rolling wheel. As the wheel moves forward, the dot doesn't travel in a straight line. It rises from the ground, reaches a peak, then falls back down before touching the ground again, tracing a graceful arch known as a cycloid. Meanwhile, points closer to the center follow completely different paths. The exact center of the wheel doesn't rise or fall at all. It simply moves forward in a straight line. Every point on the same wheel follows its own unique trajectory. So even though the wheel advances by one circumference, not every point on it travels the same distance. The cycloid quickly became one of the most important curves in mathematics. In 1644, the Italian mathematician Evangelista Torricelli proved that the area beneath one arch of a cycloid is exactly 3 times the area of the circle that generates it. That single result transformed the cycloid from a simple wheel trace into one of the greatest challenges in mathematics. Suddenly, mathematicians were trying to calculate tangents, enclosed areas, and even the exact length of the curve, questions that would eventually help give birth to calculus. Soon afterward, Christian Huygens discovered that an object sliding along an inverted cycloid always reaches the bottom in exactly the same amount of time, regardless of where it starts. This remarkable property, known as the tautochrone, later improved the accuracy of pendulum clocks. Then, in 1696, Johann Bernoulli posed the famous brachistochrone problem. What path allows a ball to travel from one point to another in the shortest possible time under gravity? The answer was, once again, the cycloid. That single curve became one of the driving forces behind the development of calculus. The paradox continued to inspire mathematicians. During the 19th century, thinkers such as Bernard Bolzano explored an even deeper consequence. Every point on the larger circle can be matched to exactly one point on the smaller circle by drawing a radius from the common center. It seems both circles contain the same number of points, even though one circumference is clearly longer than the other. This surprising idea helped pave the way for set theory and our modern understanding of infinity. It revealed that the number of points on a line and the length of that line are two entirely different concepts. In the end, Aristotle's wheel paradox never proved that a larger circle is equal to a smaller one. Instead, it exposed a flaw in our own intuition. When the smaller circle rolls by itself, it travels one circumference, but when it's locked inside a larger wheel, it no longer determines the wheel's motion. It simply rotates while being carried forward by the outer rim. They may both complete one revolution, but they are no longer performing the same kind of motion. What began as a simple question about a rolling wheel eventually led mathematicians toward calculus, precision timekeeping, the calculus of variations, and even our modern understanding of infinity. Sometimes, the deepest discoveries begin with the simplest questions.